Benny was happily searching the halls of the new building that 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 there were that their new show was taking place. There was lots of paperwork to do and lots of ink. Boris was busy fixing his old broken banjo for the show they're going to put on and perform. The strings on Boris's wooden banjo snapped. He needed new ones and fast. He was he was getting worried. He won't take he won't he won't take part in a performance. Suddenly, Benny popped into and see what Boris was up to. "Hello, buddy. What you doing?" he said with a smile. He came closer to Boris. He came closer to where Boris was and took a seat next to where he was sitting down in a wooden chair. "Oh, nothing special. Just fixing up the old wooden banjo that had to break on me before I started practicing for the new performance we was going to do together." A- After Boris said this, he he carelessly swung his head he he carelessly swung his head down to a motion of sadness and no hope. Benny got up and closer to Boris. He took his left hand and 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 lifted up Boris's chin, causing their eyes to make fully eye contact. Benny took his eyes off of Boris's sad and let down once he gently put his gaze upon the old broken aged banjo. He noticed the strings were snapped. Benny put his gaze up onto Boris again and looked worried as he did. "Don't worry. Don't worry about that, Boris. Let me handle it. No need to worry. We will still do the performance." He sweetly smiled at Boris. "Thank you, Benny. I feel a lot better now." With that, Boris picked up his banjo and gave it to Benny. Benny took the banjo and went down the hall to the repair room to the repair room to fix Boris's banjo. This banjo sure is quite old. Maybe I this banjo sure is quite old. Maybe I need to get him a new one instead of instead of him having a crappy one instead of him having a crappy old one that breaks. Benny put the banjo down onto the repair table. He he began to search new for some new pair of strings for the banjo. He luckily came across two new pairs of strings that wasn't used. At least nothing actually important gets broken in this place, Bendy said to himself. Benny got the strings took took out the old banjo one, the old broken ones of of Boris's banjo. He put the new strings into the banjo, and the banjo was fixed and done. Benny picked up the banjo and walked out the repair room. He carefully shut the door and walked over to where Boris was before. "Here you go, Boris, old pal, uh, up, up and ready to go." He gave he gave Boris his fixed banjo. In his surprise, Boris looked up and, and overwhelmed by the good, helpful action of Bendy. Oh, jolly! Gosh, Bendy, thank you so much. Now we can plan the performance together. Boris happily bent down to Bendy's height to put his hands on Bendy's shoulders and gave him a kiss. To Boris's surprise, Bendy kissed back. The kiss felt like it was going to last forever until Bendy broke the kiss a long line of saliva, connecting the tongues together, both of them very light breathing. Boris, Boris, I didn't know you felt that way about me. Bendy said. Bendy said this while blushing hard. I always felt that way about you, Bendy. I just want to know if you felt the same way. He said he said the words while blushing, just as the person he kissed. Or cartoon. Well, I I don't know both cartoon and human. There you go. I don't I do feel that the same way, Boris, but this is very sudden and sweet, but we're forgetting something. He looked at Boris, making sudden eye contact telling with him telling him something important. They they might be forgetting. It's the performance, isn't it? It sure is. But he happily looked at Boris and gave him a wink. Come on, buddy. Let's set up so it looks inviting. All right, let's do this. End of chapter 1.